Hello, students. Welcome to this session of Preetma's English ISC and ICSC. Presently, we are going to do this scene, Act 2, Scene 6. Till Scene 5, the videos are available on my channel. You can look at it. Now, we are going to look at Act 2, Scene 6, which takes place in front of Shylock's house, where Graciano and Celerino, they are masked and they are waiting outside his house for Lorenzo. So Graciano says, "This is a penthouse under which Lorenzo desired us to make stand." Penthouse is just like a shed. That is, it looks like a house. It has a projecting shade over it, but it has no walls. So Graciano says that this is a shed where Lorenzo had asked us to wait. So here we are supposed to wait for him. Celerino, his hour is almost past. Celerino says, "But the time that he mentioned has already passed. Where is he?" Graciano, and it is marvel he outdwells his hour, for lovers ever run before the clock. So Graciano says that it is a big surprise that why is it so that he has outdwelled the hour. The time at which he was supposed to be here, he has crossed that time. Although it is seen that mostly the lovers, they are so excited to meet each other that they reach before the intended time. Celerino, oh, 10 times faster Venus pigeons fly to seal love's bonds new made than they are wont to keep obliged faith unforfeited. So Celerino says, yes, it is quite correct. And even the goddess of love, Venus, when she travels on her chariot, which are driven by pigeons, the pigeons they try to run that chariot 10 times faster to reach before the lovers, so that their bond of love is sealed and it made strong by them. And than those who are already married, because in order to make the bond very strong, they make it in such a way that they are supposed to marry each other. Graciano, that ever holds who rises from a feast with that keen appetite that he sits down. Where is a horse that doth untread again his tedious measures with unbated fire, that he did pace them first? All things that are with more spirit chased and enjoyed, how like a yonker or a prodigal the scarf bark puts from her native bay, hugged and embraced by the strumpet wind, how like the prodigal doth she return, with over-weathered ribs and ragged sails, lean, rent, beggared by the strumpest wind. So here Graciano says this is very much true, because a man may sit down to eat his meal with a sharp appetite, but when he gets up after having his meal, then he does not feel any more hungry. Similarly, a horse, when it returns back from a journey, will not have that much energy and that much strength on its return journey as it was when it started its journey. Similarly, he also compares it with the ship, which is very much decorated with its beauty and is, you can say, having beautiful canvas cloth over it and is very much beautifully painted. When it moves on its first journey, then it looks very much beautiful. It seems as if the winds are kissing it and the weather is welcoming that beautiful ship. But when it returns back, the ship is weather beaten. It has torn sails, and it looks so much damaged that you cannot recognize whether it was that same ship as it was when it went on its first journey. That means this ship has been compared to a prodigal son, and prodigal means a man who is very much a spendthrift. So that means when the ship returns back, it becomes so much damaged that it is beyond recognition. Actually, he wants to say in a way that when you try to pursue a thing, your energy and your enthusiasm is to the top point. But as soon as that thing is achieved, that enjoyment that you should have and that happiness that you should have on gaining that thing vanishes away. So in a way he wants to say that when Lorenzo and Jessica were initially pursuing each other, then they were having so much excitement for each other. But now when a time has come in order to marry each other and elope with each other, that excitement is vanishing very slowly from Lorenzo. Salarino. Here comes Lorenzo, more of this hereafter. Salarino says, but here Lorenzo is coming, so we'll talk about it later. Lorenzo, sweet friends, your patience for my long abode, not I, but my affairs, have made you wait. When you shall please to play the thieves for wives, I'll watch as long for you then. Approach. Here dwells my father Jew. Hawa, who's within? Lorenzo says, dear friends, I am very thankful to both of you that you have been waiting for me so long for my purpose. You are there for my help. And I assure you, I promise you, that when the time comes that you people are also looking at some girl and trying to run away or elope with her, then I'll be there for you at that time. I'll help you. Then he says that, come with me. My father in law resides in this house, which is here. Then he says, ho, he shouts to attract the attention of the rest of his friends. Who is inside? Now Jessica comes above in boy's clothes. Jessica has also disguised herself. Jessica, who are you? Tell me for more certainty. Actually, there was a dim light, so they could not recognize each other. So Jessica wants to assure that who is there. So she asks that who are you? First tell me, so that I may become sure. Albeit I'll swear that I do know your tongue. She says, although I know that who are you, but still I want to hear from your own voice. Lorenzo and thy love. So Lorenzo says, I am Lorenzo, your love. Jessica, Lorenzo certain, and my love indeed, for who love I so much. And now who knows but you, Lorenzo, whether I am yours? So Jessica says, yes, Lorenzo, it is very sure that you are there. You are my love. There is nobody else in this entire world whom I love so much. And now you yourself may know that how much do you love me. And so she says that, who knows except you, Lorenzo, if I am yours. Lorenzo says, heaven and thy thoughts are witness that thou art. Because Jessica was asking, who knows above all these things that I am yours. Lorenzo says, this heaven, this earth, all these besides me know that you are mine. Jessica, here catch this casket, it is worth the pains. I am glad 'tis night, yet do not look on me, for I am much ashamed of my exchange. But love is blind, and lovers cannot see the pretty follies that themselves commit. For if they could, Cupid himself would blush to see me thus transformed to a boy. So Jessica says, okay, now catch this casket, and this is worth the pains that I have taken, because she has put some money, jewelry, and whatever important things she needed into that casket. So she says that catch this casket, and it is dark because I am boy, but I am so much ashamed of my transformation that the way in which I have been dressed makes me feel ashamed. But love is blind, and lovers cannot see the foolishness of each other or the mistakes of each other. Follies means foolishness. So she says that, if people would see each other, the lovers would see each other and find the mistakes in each other, then definitely Cupid, who is a son of goddess Venus and who uses bow and arrow in order to incite love in people, he would definitely blush to see me in such clothes. And then Lorenzo says, descend, for you must be my torchbearer. Now Lorenzo requests her to come down, so and tells her that you have to be my torchbearer. You have to carry the torch and lead me into the mass party. Jessica, what must I hold a candle to my shames? They in themselves, good sooth, are too light. Why, it is an office of discovery, love, and I should be obscured. Jessica says, what do you mean? Should I become your torchbearer? When I'll carry the torch on my head, it will reveal my appearance in front of the people and they will recognize me. And Presently, in order to elope with you, my appearance has to be hidden from the other people. So my identity should not be revealed. Lorenzo, so you are sweet, so are you sweet, even in the lovely garnish of a boy. But come at once, for the close night doth play the runaway, and we are stayed for at Bassanio's feast. Now Lorenzo says, you look even charming in this changed appearance of a boy. And now you have to come down at once because now we have to move to the feast party or the mass party at Bassanio's house, and then we'll carry out our plan. Jessica, I will make fast the doors and gild myself with some more ducats and be with you straight. Jessica says, give me some time. I'll lock the doors and put some more money and some more jewelry for myself, and then I'll be with you. Gracian, exit above. Now Jessica goes to her house. Graciano, now by my hood, a gentle and no Jew. A Gentile and no Jew. Graciano says, now I swear by my hood that she is becoming a Christian and is now definitely not a Jew. Lorenzo, beshrew me, but I love her heartily, for she is wise if I can judge of her, and fair she is. If that mine eyes be true, and true she is, as she hath proved herself, and therefore like herself wise, fair, and true, shall she be placed in my constant soul. So Lorenzo says, curse me if I do not love her with my whole heart. I love her wholeheartedly, and if I have the ability to judge her, then, according to me, she is a very pure lady, and she is a fair and a beautiful lady. She is true to her word, whatever she promises, she carries out that, and she has proved herself this thing. And therefore, I like herself wise, fair, and true. And so, according to me, she is wise, she is fair, and true lady. She will always remain as this characteristic of her will always remain in my heart and in my soul. Enter Jessica. What art thou come? O gentlemen, away our masking mates by this time for us stay. Now Jessica comes down and she says that now Lorenzo says, Acha, you have come down. So let us leave, gentlemen, and we have to be at the mass party. Our friends are masked and they are waiting over there. So Jessica and Celerio, they leave the scene, and then Antonio enters. Antonio, who is there? Antonio asks that who is standing there. Graciano says, Signor Antonio. Graciano is surprised to see Antonio and says, Gentleman Antonio. Antonio, fie, Graciano. Where are all the rest? 'Tis 9 o'clock. Our friends all stay for you. No mass tonight. The wind is come about. Bassanio presently will go aboard. I have sent 20 out to seek for you. Antonio says, you should be ashamed of yourself. Where are the other people of your community? Where are they? All of your friends were waiting at the mass party, but today we have cancelled the mass party because the wind is blowing in such a direction that it would be good for Bassanio to go to Belmont. So, where is he? And I have been sending 20 people to search you and Antonio. This is a very shameful act for you people that you have been absent. Graciano, I am glad on't. I desire no more delight than to be under sail and gone tonight. Graciano says it is a very good news that the wind is blowing in such a direction that we can go. And I'll be very happy to go with Bassanio. So I'll be sailing with him. And today we'll be gone to Belmont. And then they exit from the scene. So the scene finishes here. So in this scene, the speech of Graciano is very important, in which he has compared three things. One is a person who sits at dinner time when he is very hungry. When he gets up off the table, then he is not any more hungry. Similarly, when a horse moves on his first journey, though it is very much excited, very much energetic, but when it returns back, then it loses all its energy. Similarly, when a ship which is very much beautifully painted and has got beautiful canvas on it, when it returns back, then it is, you can say, wind beaten, it has torn sails, and it is quite damaged. That is, it is beyond appearance. Similarly, when a person is pursuing something, though it has got more excitement, more energy in order to gain something. As soon as that thing is attained, the excitement and the joy vanishes off. This is a very important speech, and this has been spoken in the context of Lorenzo when he was late and he couldn't reach on time. So they compared that, they said that the lovers they reach at the place of meeting very early, more than that, you can say earlier than the given time. But even the pigeons of Venus, they drive her chariot 10 times faster in order to reach the place before the lovers meet, so that the bond between the two lovers is made very much strong and they are ready to marry each other. Then Lorenzo comes and he promises them that if at any time they also require to elope with their lovers, then he'll be of great help to them. But last of all, we come to know in this scene that there is no mass party, and ultimately the wind is blowing in such a direction that this Lorenzo and Graciano can go to Belmont in order to make the choice of caskets at Portia's residence. So, hope this is clear to you people. And if you have understood it, press the like button and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.